Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Some crazy roster changes getting confirmed yesterday, including one of the weirdest changes you are really ever going to see, certainly in the preparation for the VCT this upcoming season. Also, big rumours as to what's going on with Evil Geniuses at the moment. Are they making some serious changes? Has their hardball tactic against the other opposition not worked out in their favour? How many members do they even have left of their organisation? Apparently not that many at all. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate this round from Yampy as well. I know that he talked about this yesterday a lot. The fact that he gets the kill here, he then gets the kill with the brimstone molly, and then he jumps out the window 360 mid-air headshots this guy for the game. I mean, yeah, absolutely absurd. Now, Ban, he has officially signed a contract as of yesterday. People are wondering exactly where. Of course, XT1, and we'll go on to discuss T1 here in just a second, but he's signed a deal somewhere. People don't really know where. I think that right now he might be out there in Korea, so there is a chance that he signed at least with one of the APAC teams. It could be, well, I don't know. There was some talk about Talon just because they recently let go of Garnet S, which was probably a surprising change. Many interesting roster decisions being made right now out there in the APAC region. There's no doubt about it. And this one especially so. T1 yesterday confirmed Rossy as a new member of their VALORANT team. This is so strange. It seems like it's almost like an AI has generated this, but this is actually true. I don't really understand why, and we'll discuss that in a second. Rossy, sure, good player, right? Like, I thought Rossy always a pretty solid player, like he was on the TSM days. Now, did he have his fair share of controversies and drama and friction with various players? Yes, we saw that quite a few times. There were always some clips that would come out of Rossy clashing with certain members either of his own team, or there was that one time I think where Ye was getting particularly frustrated with him and then they had a bit of a back and forth. So, you know, Rossy, to manage him as his personality might be a little bit of a challenge, but he's always been a pretty promising player. But if there are players that T1 were going to sign from, let's say, NA imports, Rossy would not have been necessarily at the top of my list, especially because as a Korean team, they had plenty of South Korean players already, and they actually had enough players to already form a roster, right? I thought they had a roster ready to go, but the fact that Rossy is now there, they might have been speaking English anyway, and that might have been their transitionary period, but for Rossy to come in, just, it's tough to wrap your head around exactly why they would make this decision for an import, especially when they already had a team that looked capable of doing something quite good. Now, they've actually gone on to confirm that Rossy will be in the starting team for the new roster. So as Zeta says, Turtle Rossboss learned Korean, welcome to the squad. Now, I'm not sure he actually necessarily did, or whether they're just going to be speaking English on the team, which I believe will be the case. But yeah, so Zeta, I'm surely is going to stay on the team, and even Rossy then drops the joins T1 or Hello Korea T1 fighting, which is just comedy. So yeah, I don't even understand why exactly this has happened, but congrats to Rossy, and hopefully it works out for the team. It's confusing, no doubt. It doesn't make much sense to me, but if you guys could decipher in the comment section below why T1 decided to do this. It's cool to see more NA imports as well. There's been quite a few over the last couple of years to the APAC region, and look, it could work out well for them. But of all the players to get, Rossy isn't even, you know, he's obviously a competent player and he is making waves to some degree over the last couple of years, but it's not like he was dominating tier 2 last season, didn't get picked up to the NA Pro League, and therefore other teams have decided, all right, yeah, let me get this Rossy guy before somebody else signed him. It's kind of an out of left field pickup they've decided to go for. And Autumn confirms, their head coach of course, that Rossy will be starting with Xcurt as well. So Xcurt, I remember him really when he was on that title, wasn't he on Tyler Esports? When he was an AWPer over there in CSGO, a pretty, you know, prominent one for some time. He was looking pretty good. Now, he's also the brother of Forsaken of Paper X. So there was even talk this season that given Jing was stepping away from Paper X, whether they would decide at Paper X to actually get Xcurt instead. That didn't happen. He joined T1. But yeah, Awesome confirms that Xcurt and Rossy are going to be starting for the team. So what does that mean for the rest of the team? This is the full team, as you guys can see here. So, of course, Zeta is there, Sire player. Now they've got Rossy, Carpe, Izu, King, and Xcurt. So, you know, they've got 7 players on the team, which is, you know, if you just exclude Rossy, like, I'm happy that he's got a chance here in the tier 1 scene. It's really cool for him. But do they need him? You know what I mean? I'm just a little bit confused why it's necessary. But anyway, so Zeta and Sire player, you would think are going to start. Izu, maybe he could step into a different role, but he's probably going to be benched, which seems a little bit strange. And then, Rossy and Excret are going to start, so that leaves one spot for either Carpe, Izu, or King, you would think. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're cooking over there, but yeah, it's kind of a wild one, and yeah, hopefully it works out for Rossy, but such a strange decision for T1 to make. That has no doubt confused rather large swathes of the community. Now, NRG also kind of do this tweet yesterday, which is maybe telling of some things to come. Of course, Victor and Crashy's joining NRG 1 year ago today, or 1 year ago yesterday, so now they've had a year back with NRG, and therefore you would well imagine that the confirmation of what's going to come next could well be happening relatively soon. Who their teammate's going to be, why haven't they confirmed Marved yet? That's another question, to be honest. And are they going to be able to get in a couple of the guys from EG? Because that is the big question at the moment. Just quickly on Taco, not of course the Taco that was on Leviathan last year, and I believe now is on Crew, but actually CSGO Taco, like SK Gaming Taco, and he confirmed that he received inquiries from Valorant teams in NA. Back when I left Double O Nation at the beginning of the year, I received inquiries about whether I had interest from NA teams. I got to play the game in Los Angeles, played some maps and shot it. I found the shooting mechanics easy. I liked it. I found the game fun to play, but I have no intention of migrating for now. It doesn't make sense. But still pretty interesting to see if there could be another Taco in the Valorant Pro League in the relatively near future. Now let's talk about Evil Geniuses, because there was a big article came out here from Mikhail yesterday discussing all of the layoffs that happened recently, lots of problems internally there at Evil Geniuses, and even as one former employee says, we were just not successful at finding ways to monetize our business. I think anyone realistically who's watched from the outside could have told you that. Now, he also spoke to some individuals formerly at the team that estimated that the skeleton crew that is currently running the organization consists of approximately 12 people. So that's the amount of staff they have, apparently. I'm guessing this doesn't include the players, right, for their various teams, but for staff that are running the org behind the scenes, about 12 members of the team for everything, which is, yeah, that is not a number that's lower than you might expect, right? I mean, that's a very small crew to do what EG are trying to do. And sure, maybe they can be efficient with a crew that small, but EG, efficiency, I don't know, there's a bit of an oxymoron. Then, of course, that's called into question what is going to happen with their Valorant team, because if with all the problems going on behind the scenes, the lawsuits, everything with EG right now is a complete shambles. I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future EG's spot in franchising effectively gets revoked by, well, the Partnership League, by Riot themselves. What's going to happen with their starting team? What are they going to do going forwards? The rumour is that Stella and Corey are in discussions. No agreement has been reached between the parties, but we saw the other day that Stella and Corey were in those trials that we believe they were running with Jorgamo, and Com were still in the team looking for one, I suppose, in that circumstance, because we think that Boostio's gone. Could be Ethan to stay, could be Demon 1 to stay, but big changes are happening, and it might well be the case, this is the going theory, that EG tried to play hardball, they tried to go to NRG and say, oh, well, you're going to offer us this money, we're not going to accept that money, we want more, we want a bigger bag, and maybe NRG delivered the bag, but if it's true that Boostio's contract ends in a couple of months' time in January, and therefore 100T can get in for free, NRG also might be doing a similar tactic, and possibly EG's hardball tactics, because they apparently could have taken 100k for Demon 1 and Ethan not that long ago. That was an offer from NRG. Now NRG might have said, you know what, guys, we ain't giving you any money, we're just going to wait these guys' contract out and sign them then. Or they might have offered them a bit more and they might have got that deal accepted, or maybe they know that EG are in such financial ruin that they can offer even less than that and still potentially get the deal done. So it feels like EG's, what looked like from the outside hardball-esque tactics, have not necessarily delivered the desired results for EG, and their roster is going to, well, regress significantly from their World Championship winning team last year. They're going to lose the majority of their star players, and they will probably go and play for another team. Jorgamo and Com are believed to probably still be staying. Stella as the new IGL. Corey, of course, former teammates with Rossy, and we discussed his surprising move not long ago. So that looks like potentially what's going to happen with the new Evil Geniuses, and this is to such an extent that Jimmy Mac Jack here, who is the father of Stella, comes in and replies and says, nice, let's go. Corey and Brendan, and two hardworking pros and both good teammates, coachable and can flat out play. So, again, man, the esports parents are at it again. Very heavily implying, you guys can see in his bio actually, Pride Pop, go Stella, that, yeah, Stella to 100T is, well, obviously no longer a thing. Stella to EG is now maybe the thing, because, yeah, he says, hardworking pros, good teammates, coachable, let's go, they're going to join EG. So, yeah, I mean, you don't even have to read between the lines at this point. The esports parents are doing the job. So, clearly, the conversation's being had. Whether it's a done deal, whether Stella has told his father, like, oh, yeah, I'm having discussions with EG, it's looking pretty good, but whether a deal is signed yet may be unlikely. We know how EG are playing things, and, look, if I was a player looking to sign a contract with EG, I would be going through every single little piece of fine print to ensure that I'm not getting screwed over somehow, because you wouldn't be massively surprised the way things have gone over the last couple of years or so. Just a couple of funny things to close out with. Aspas is fully in the off-season trajectory at this point, as he says here, pre-game, so I will have a question to have some fun. I think this is related to something that he said to his team a couple of months ago. He said, would you rather, I don't know what it was, do something with Ye or like go clubbing with Boaster, something like that anyway. And as he says here, spent 2 months in a white room without anything, just food and water and only one bed with Boaster and Alpha, or spend 3 days in the middle of the ocean on a jet ski with Ye without food and water. Brilliant analysis. I think, the option is here, you got to stay with Ye. And yeah, that's what it says. I wouldn't have it any other way. Absolutely the correct decision. But very much interested to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.